Hello everyone, welcome to the SMITE guide to Ymir in Conquest. Now, I'm going to, with the new year and the continuation of the series, I'm going to mix this up a little bit. Since theoretically every character can be played in solo, at least in theory, I will do a couple of episodes per character, guardians, warriors, etc. in that role, particularly if there is no other role that they're particularly good in. Ymir is a prime example of this. He is primarily a guardian. He does play a decent solo lane. He's not my favorite in the role, but this particular video obviously is going to be on support, since that is his primary role. Now, when you're playing Ymir as a support, there's a couple of things you really do need to keep in mind. One, your primary wave clear ability, which is Glacial Strike, this is your second ability, isn't really something you're going to want to level up too much as a support. It's the first thing you're going to put points into. It's what you get at level 1, because that helps you clear waves at level 1, obviously. But from then on, you're looking to increase first your Frost Breath, which increases the duration of the stun on Frost Breath, and then the Ice Wall, which is just a really interesting, highly effective utility ability for absolutely anything, really. I find the Ice Wall incredibly useful. If you are playing Ymir in the solo lane, you are going to put those points into Glacial Strike first. In fact, you might even skip over Ice Wall in the solo lane, but again, I'll cover that in those specific episodes. Now, essentially speaking, Ymir is a little bit more of a late game support, because a lot of his best abilities, we've got enough auto attacks here where I'm comfortable with War Flag. A lot of his finer points, so to speak, really happen when he in the later game, and I want to show you an example of why. Primarily, this is from his passive Frostbite, which all of his abilities that affect enemies, quote-unquote, damage. The Ice Wall doesn't damage, it doesn't technically affect enemies, it doesn't do anything to them, so the Ice Wall is accepted from his passive, so basically anytime you damage enemies with his abilities, they get Frostbite. The only reason why it says affects enemies is because all you have to do is hit them with something that would normally cause damage, so if they're using Aegis, they still get the Frostbite debuff. They just don't take the damage, obviously, but your basic attacks do double damage, which isn't important as a support, but it is important as a solo laner. But the decreased damage taken is 10%. This affects the enemies themselves. It doesn't affect Ymir, so all enemies that are affected by our abilities will do 10% damage for the next 6 seconds. As powerful as this might sound right now, it's actually even better in the late game. So, first off, we're going to use the Hog there, because we really want to kill those first 2 small minions, so we are sure to hit level 2 when we clear the first wave. That's very important. Then we hold this for the ADC. This is why I used a health potion, because Morrigan was late. Normally, you would blink in on the first wave, which would give you some really great early game pressure. However, again, because the Morrigan was late, and as a result, Neith was late, we're not going to have that option. So we are kind of playing from behind where we would normally want to be, alright? So this is going to be quite difficult. We're going to have to rely on our jungler, but it looks like everyone's getting slapped. Our solo lane has already died. Our mid lane has already died. We're going to have to play this one very cautiously. This is not going to end well for us if we try to play this aggressively. Now notice Neith is already level 2 because she soloed the red buff, which is probably why the Morrigan died so early as well. She probably did not get any benefit out of that, and therefore died. Just kind of a side note there. Not super important. We're gonna probably try to... I did not need that damage in my life. Do what we can here. Go ahead and freeze you, hit you. I'm just really trying to pull up minion aggro here to help our wave out a little bit here. Alright, he's pretty aggressively pushing into that. I'm going to go ahead and do what I can to those minions. Yep, that's fine. I'm almost out of mana. That is also fine. This could be interesting. I did not intend to go there. Alright. And that's just kind of a side effect of the Morrigan being late. There's not really anything I can do. And if you're a support in this situation, obviously there's nothing you can do, because a late mid laner is... What are you going to do about it, you know? We just have to kind of try our best to recover in the late game, which fortunately, like I said before, is kind of where Ymir excels. We're actually going to back this up here. I really don't want to be taking all this damage, and I can't hold it for Neath. Okay, so now we have all of our base abilities. Now we're going to start increasing pretty much exclusively Frost Breath until we have that at max level, and then we are at that point going to switch to... Oop. We're going to switch to the Ice Wall because of how utility it really is. Now I'm trying to wait as long as possible to go back. I've still got enough health where I'm not too concerned here. I do actually want to take a moment to explain why I chose War Flag. The reason why I chose the War Flag is because Neath uses auto attacks, and so does Erlong Shen. And as I just pointed out, Ymir does actually have the option of doing some decent damage with his basic attacks. Even as a support, you can actually bust out a little bit of damage there. So that's not too much of a problem, actually. And furthermore, the Morrigan has good auto attacks as well. Not great. It's not like they're going to be strong enough for her to specifically focus. That was actually a really fantastically timed wall on my part. It's not like she's going to want to focus on them or anything, but she actually can use them pretty effectively. At this point, I'm going to go back. I can increase my... to Steel Mail here. There we go. We're going to go ahead and get some wards and multi-potions, I think. There we go. Alright. But anyways, yeah, I'm going to be looking to do a lot of auto attack increases. I'll be using Talisman of Energy, Shogun's Kusari. What I want to do is get Sovereignty first. At that point, I'm not really sure where necessarily I want to take my build. Actually, I do have a pretty good idea of where I want to take this build. So I'll go for Sovereignty, and then I'm going to go for Shogun's Kusari. And then after that, I'll probably need Contagion. Guan Yu heals after all. Increase Ice Breath. The Morrigan could. Fafnir obviously does. Actually, the entire enemy team self-heals. Except, technically, the Morrigan, who can instead transform into somebody who self-heals. So... And as you can see, you know, we're just kind of playing really cautiously here. We're not really going too hard on anything. We're slightly behind. Neath is level 4, I'm level 4. The enemies in our lane are level 5 comparatively. I don't know where Fafnir is gone. Now you'll notice that I'm not blinking in on Danzaburou. He's got his ult, and that would be a waste of my time. Okay, so Guan Yu, is he their jungler? Yes, okay. And that's Fafnir there. And I'm a little late on the rotation, but I wasn't 100% sure necessarily that that rotation was happening. Oh, not today. Ah, shoot. He shouldn't be able to kill her. You want to chase further? Oh, this is getting ugly over here. I'm kind of busy. Yeah, thank you, Hunbots, for backing me up on that. I don't have the option to gank right now. This is just not going to work. I used my blink to save the life of... Okay. The Morrigan's over here. The enemy Morrigan. And Fafnir is still hanging around, so we're going to go ahead and do something about that. You're... Okay. Oh, I am alone here. Interesting. Well, they took out the Guan Yu, which is really impressive. Okay, that's unfortunate. Trying to play this little safe here. He's looking to get me, but he's not going to be able to. Which is fine. I have enough for Sovereignty, so I'm going to go back and get that, because I am going to need that. Alright, and then we're going to start looking at Shogun's Kusari. Gonna go ahead and grab a Sentry Ward for kicks. Again, we're trying to play really safe. We're trying to play behind. Erlong Shen is pushing up a little too aggressively, considering we're behind. Again, he had to retreat. It looks like he'll get out safely, but that was unnecessary risk. It looks like Fafnir's over there, so I'm going to want to go over there. Actually, it looks like everyone's over there for some unholy reason. Hunbots did take out the Morrigan. So that's fairly impressive, and that's going to be Hunbots dead. And that's Fafnir over here as well, and they're going to take the jungle. Yeah. Let's see what we can do with this. Alright. And you're going to probably, yeah, play this pretty aggressively. That was a good escape. That was a good escape. Gonna use this multi-potion here. I'm gonna try to stall them out. And here comes Erlong Shen. I don't have any mana, which is a bit of a problem. I haven't built up my mana reserves yet, unfortunately. Alright, throw that down. My other ward is about to fade, so we're gonna go ahead and put this here. And I'm just gonna, again, play this back. And grab some mana. There we go. Help her out with this. I want to get at least 650 gold so I can get the first part of Shogun's... Sorry, 600 or 650? Alright, are we actually having a gank over here? I think we have a possibility. It's 650, right? It is 650, I was correct. Okay, good. That is huge. Here's Fafnir. I'm going to be basically just trying to keep him away. I was prepared to wall if I needed to, but I didn't.
Enemies incoming middle.
No.
Be careful.
Alright, we're just poking at this point. That wasn't aggression. It was just poking. I wouldn't go for this. My ward just faded. We're going for it anyways. Okay. I'm surprised that worked as well as it did. That was a risk considering Wanyu was over there. Alright, looks like after this wave I'll be able to get yes. Okay. I will have enough for my stage 1 here, my Enchanted Kursari. This is excellent. Neath is catching up to Danzaboto at this point. The comparison of builds is interesting, but they're both building pretty well overall. So nothing particularly bad there. I don't have time for D4. I thought I did because I didn't see anyone in mid, but unfortunately this turns out to not be the case. So I'm going to want to try my best to defend over here. Alright, go on. You just killed, or helped kill, Erlong Shen. Which is very unfortunate. Hunbots is making a mistake here. I'm just going to... This has nothing to do with Ymir. But the Hunbots is making a small mistake in not being more on the right lane. I'm sorry, the right jungle. Considering how much Guan Yu is clearly occupying that side of the jungle. He's very concerned about Erlong Shen getting too strong. Probably because between Erlong Shen and Mulan, if Erlong Shen gets strong enough, he can eliminate Mulan, as he was proving earlier when he was really aggressing into that, into Mulan there. That was mostly because he can win that fight, but they're leaning so heavily on him. No. The fact, though, that Neath is pulling ahead is pretty impressive. Nope. We have a lot. Okay, they're grouping up at this point. She became Hunbots. That's very unfortunate. Okay, I'm probably gonna die here. Yeah. I figured as much. Now, are they gonna be able to pick anything up here? It's taking too long to fire a shot. Shoot the Morgan. There we go. That's what we're talking about. That was good. And the question is, can the Hunbots get away from these two insane lunatics? Okay. She pulled it off somehow. I'm gonna head right because Fafnir is over there, so I should be over there as a result. Hunbots is trying to restore his health and mana through his Boomba's dagger, I assume? Yeah. I'm here. We can take this. Because I'm fresh and Fafnir is not. We hit about for the same rough amount of damage. He just enhanced his own auto attack, so he's gonna start doing about the same amount of damage. He's gonna jump out at this point. Good stun. Then you picked the wrong direction, bub. And this is where he dies. That was a good ult. Come on. This is abnormally difficult to get our hands on here. There we go. Alright. I don't have mana. We really shouldn't be fighting this. Okay, that was a good fight. That was a really good fight. That got everything done that we needed it to do. I need to go back for the sake. Actually, I'll stay around just for the wave clear here. It's not like I'm going to get killed. Oh, hey, we actually have an opportunity here. Never mind. I just am here for the assist. Don't mind me. Oh, that's Mulan killing Erlangstein in the background. She's still in the jungle, huh? Back off. That's right. I don't think I needed to blink there, to be completely honest, but I don't regret it too much. I wanted to make sure I was there to freeze her if I needed to. Nita's actually winning that lane now, which is fairly impressive. Yep, that's good. That's good. Okay, so that means she's going to start being able to rotate, which is really important for the team. That's good. That's good. Fafnir's ahead of me, mostly because he's got a kill and an extra assist. Because his dragon form allows him to get kills a lot earlier than I would be able to, but still, nevertheless, as a support, you really don't want to necessarily get kills, so that's pulling away. You'll notice how little damage he was doing earlier, even though he is one of the more damaging supports, and that's really why. It's because we're both building the defense. At least, yeah, he is, okay. He went for Gauntlet of Thebes, it's fine. I'm just going to try to maintain this wave for the Morrigan. Okay. We need... Okay, I'm going to completely whiff that. That's not worth it. I thought he was going to moon over there. He's going to be looking to jump out of this situation. I'm going to watch and wait for this. Here he goes. He's looking for it. There it is. Nope, denied. Okay. And then he's probably going to use that to get out. Interesting ult. However, she doesn't have quite the same options here. Ah, shoot, okay. This is a crazy fight. I can't... We're outnumbered at that point. Once the Morrigan died, we no longer had that fight. Yeah, that was a bad fight once the Morrigan died. I'm not sure why she split off from the group. I think she was chasing somebody, but I'm not 100% sure who. Is she about to respawn? Yeah. I might as well throw one more Glacial Strike down here. I know he's back there. I accidentally leveled up Glacial Strike earlier, which was a mistake. Well, normally I'd say it's a mistake, but I've been clearing enough waves here where actually it turns out to have been a good thing, but it's not something you would normally want to be enhancing here. It's not like he's going to do anything to me. Like I said, he doesn't do any damage. I'm going to go ahead and help her with her damage buff here. And then I'm going to go back because I really need Shogun's Kusari. You stop that. No leaving for you. I can't believe that killed him. Okay, we're gonna run. We're gonna just leave this alone. We don't want this. I'm out of mana and I can't save any more lives. I just don't have that option. Ah, shoot. I do have enough for Ice Breath, though. She used that too early. I can't believe I missed that. Okay. And I still have enough for another Ice Breath, probably from the MP5. I am very surprised that must have bounced off the Harpies, honestly. That didn't work. That also did not work. Neath, finally. Alright, now I'm getting added dodge. As you see, by the way, the MP5, even though it was so little, it still really helps. We're now going to go ahead and probably grab Heavenly Wings. No. I'm gonna grab Shell. I think, considering that we're still a little behind, and we have been consistently behind for most of the fight, I think Shell is going to do me a little bit more good. We're going to have to defend middle lane here. There's definitely a concerted effort here to get rid of this tower. That actually really worked out well. That's unfortunate, still got it. That's okay, it's not a huge deal. We have left tower, so... Can we gank right lane? Is that something we can do? She's pushed up pretty far. Hello? Nope, okay. I thought that was them going for the pyro, but I think they've already taken it.
Your right tower is under attack. Be careful. Enemies in the right jungle.
I couldn't stop her, but that's fine. I doubt she's going to try to press this with me here. She is going to... Well... Holy cow, she's level 18. Alright. I'm not sure this is a great fight here, honestly. She's looking for a hook shot here. Need this level 18 as well, though. Shell everyone. There's Fafnir, there's Guan Yu. That was an excellent ult. Okay. They're going for Fafnir and mid lane. We're starting to turn this around at this point, which is really nice. Okay, good. Alright, attack the Gold Fury. The minions hopefully will get that. I would have liked to have confirmed the mid tower really quick, because that would have taken all of 2 seconds. There's Danzaburro. I wonder if he knows we're going to be here. Or if he's guessing. I'm not sure. Let me tank this, let me tank this. I have full health. There we go. Okay, good. I missed my wall timing, but it still worked out. I'm just going to go in there and take the I can't. Danzaburro's right there. We can take her, we can take her. If we can find her. She's gone? No, there she is. Okay.
That's too bad.
That doesn't matter. Good enough. I just wanted him to survive. Yes, we could have probably taken the Morgan there, but she probably also knew that. I'm betting she has a ward back there or something. Now, my next move is going to be Contagion. Again, they do all have self-heals that I want to kind of mitigate here. I'm wondering if any of them have additional lifesteal. The Morgan does. Mulan does. Soul Eater. Danzaburro does. Fafnir's going to... Yeah, they're going to really be paranoid about that tower right now. I don't need to go back at this time, so I'm going to stay up a little bit longer, see if I can maintain farming. I'm just trying to poke him out right now. I'm not really serious about this. Because I don't know where anyone is. Hunbots is fighting over here that I kind of want to do something about. Hunbots is level 19 though, so at least he's an appropriate level for this. I'm level 13. I am nowhere near an appropriate level. She just used her ult. That was huge. The fact that I just caught that, that is absolutely massive. That was disgusting. Now I shell. And now I just ice him out of his Tolu Assault. He's still got, what's her name? The Morgan? Which is a bit unfortunate, but what can you do about it? I'm waiting for him to jump and then I'm going to wall him off. Oh, he was trying to take the Hunbots with him. Not a bad strategy, all things considered. Now you'll notice that I didn't increase I haven't increased my ult yet. That's because the damage from the ult really doesn't matter. When you use your ult, you're really just trying to use the effect of the slow in that area. The damage is nice if you can get it, but you're really just looking for the slow at that point. So once you have one rank in the ultimate, at least as a support, you don't need more ranks in it. Again, this is a completely different story if you're playing solo lane, but I am again playing Ymir support, so I don't really care about the damage output so much as I care about that slow that it provides. Glacial Strike I only increase first because it's the better wave clear compared to the ult for fairly obvious reasons. So as you've noticed throughout this match, I've been needing to kind of pull emergency wave clear duties. Alright. That was me being way too aggressive. I shouldn't have been there, to be completely honest. Not at that level of health anyways. Not with almost 4,000 gold in my back pocket waiting to be used. I need Contagion. And then we're going to start working towards Talisman of Energy here. My final item, I think I'm going to go ahead and grab Stone of Fall. Give me a balance of both protections. Gives me nice mitigation, which is really fantastic on my boy, Ymir. But we're going to save for Talisman of Energy first. It's going to help our allies more. It's going to give us movement speed to pursue because now we're ahead, which is really important. And this is one of the two reasons why you really want Shogun's Kusari before Talisman of Energy. Shogun's Kusari gives you 10% cooldown. It gives you consistent MP5. Talisman of Energy is more about the aggression. If you're ahead early on, then Talisman of Energy is a better pickup in that case because that movement speed will help you pursue enemies. But at the point I was building Shogun's Kusari, we were behind and really weren't going to want to pursue enemies too hard. Now we're a little bit ahead, not by much, but it's enough of an advantage that we might be able to press into a more serious advantage in time. And the best way to do that is by being aggressive enough to take advantage of that. Now, I'm assuming, for the sake of argument, Danzaburo is going to ult Hunbats here, unless he's already used his ult. I'm not really sure. Hunbats is looking for the kill. I think this is greedy. I think he needs to get the hell out of dodge. There's a fight going on over there. We're going to go ahead and wall him off. He's probably going to jump over it. No, he's not going to pursue that. Alright. I thought he was. He's pursuing me now. Are you mad? No, you're just confused. No, I think you're just having a laugh. No, you were looking for Hunbots. You thought I was going to Hun. Okay, hot tip. Actually, that's a really rare example. But if you're leaving an area, all right, you just saved a friend, an ally, a teammate, and you're leaving because you've just saved their life, do not go immediately after them. Do not follow close behind them because he was following me under the assumption that I was going to Hunbots. That is exactly what he thought. Okay, if I had actually gone to where Hunbots was, now granted I was close, but that was just more by convenience than anything else. I wasn't like, oh, Hunbots needs my help more. No, it just was, I needed to go away and not engage, and he just happened to be in the direction that I was going away from, because obviously I want to approach the fountain when possible, and Hunbots was under the tower. But if I'd gone under the tower, if I'd gone in that direction, he would have found... Hunbots and killed him. And that's what he was really looking for. That's why he followed me. We're going to go ahead and really quickly just body block this. Actually, we're fine with... I was going to say, I'm fine with Fafnir fighting back there. He's not in dragon form, so that doesn't matter. That's all you really need to do, right? You just gotta set up the kills. Now notice I didn't use a wall there, even though I could have blocked that whole area off. The problem with blocking that whole area off is there was a really good chance that I was gonna block off allies as well, and that's something I did not want to do. So I did not use the wall there, and you have to be very careful about that as Ymir. Yes, I could have destroyed the wall instantly, but even a 1-second wall can make a difference between an ally hitting an ability or missing completely and an ally dying or living. It really can be a 1-second moment that ends an ally's life because you misplaced a wall or you didn't think a wall through. So I refrained from using a wall in that situation because of the very high risk that I was going to split my team in half in that fight, and maybe Neith wouldn't have made it, right? Maybe she would have died. It was either Neith or Hunbots. I don't remember who was almost dead, but somebody was almost dead, and if I'd put a wall there, there was a chance that that ally, whoever it was, would not have made it, because maybe our allies, maybe the teammates that I cut off were the ones that saved the life of the almost dead ally, right? I don't know. So that's why I didn't wall that off. And again, you have to really be aware of that. Get off my case. What are you doing, guy? The audacity of this Guan Yu. I don't know what it is about jungling Guan Yus, but they're really nervy. And you'll also notice, despite the really strong beginning, that Hunbots has really come into his own here. The primary reason why, this is just an aside that has nothing to do with Ymir. Oops. I almost made a mistake there with the wall. He was able to jump over it, so it's fine, but I am aware of the fact. Let me just absorb that ult really quick, because that is honestly the move. Shill everyone here. Freeze you. Okay, you just ulted out of dodge. Perfect. Perfect. I don't have the health for this, but sure, let's just attack the fire giant. Oh, you're talking about the pyromancer. That's a completely different story. Yeah, I can swing this. Easy. I don't like this, but okay. Fafnir's right here, but I'm not too concerned about it. I'm going to die for this. I absolutely am. And that's okay. That is part of my job as a support. I somehow did not die for this. How did I not die for that? I should have died. What is he building? He has Voidstone even. Alright. I'll take it. I'm surprised I lived through that, but sure. Actually, hold on. Don't buy that yet. I want the War Banner, because that'll give my allies even better auto-attack speed. That'll heal them a bit more. I can grab this, and we're in pretty good shape. Actually, I might not even go for that, because my magic protections are a little bit lower than I was originally anticipating. I might go into Genji's Guard for a bit more cooldown, a bit more magic protections. Then Stone of Fall would be really nice to have. I might just keep that. Yeah, they only have the enemy Morgan as their magic damage. Fafnir isn't really hitting that hard magic-wise because he is actually building proper support here. Yeah, I'm going to leave it. I'm going to go for the Stone of Fall. It's a bit of a risk because it does leave me a little bit more exposed to the Morgan, but she's not really building penetration anyways. Oh, we're not ganking left lane. Alright. Oh, Hunbots is in trouble. No. Oh, okay. There's too many of them. This is a really bad situation. That's a terrible glacial strike. You want to try and kill me? That's fine. I welcome this. They're going hardcore after me. Let's go. Let's go. Come on. Come at me. Why are you coming back into this fight? Why are you coming back into this fight? You should not be coming back into this fight. How did you miss that? That was literally right there. Come on, let's go on a chase. Okay. Yep. I'm still gonna die, I think. You're chasing me way too hard for this. And here's our Long Shen. Did I lead them on long enough that our Long Shen can avenge me here? Or pick up something? No, but they didn't do anything. See, what I have just accidentally accomplished in the stupidest chase scene of my life. I'm not even kidding. They wasted all their time going after me, and so they got nothing. They didn't get Gold Fury, which was right there. They didn't get any towers. Yes, they wiped the team, but by the time they were done chasing me, half the team respawned, or Long Shen respawned, Neith respawned, Hunbots respawned. They just killed 2 of the enemy because they chased me that far down. This isn't something that I was expecting the enemy to demonstrate for me, but if you ever are in a situation where the last person standing is the enemy support, and they're running, let them run. It takes so much effort to kill a support, at least a good support that's building properly, that this happens. The enemy that will respawn while you're chasing the support, and you will die. Or at least you'll lose some members. They lost 2 people, and the opportunity to get a jungle objective, namely the Gold Fury, or a tower, because they chased me so long. Yes, I died. Yes, the rest of the team also died. But that doesn't matter when they won the fight for nothing. They didn't use the fight for anything. They completely wasted a really fantastic opportunity to get something useful out of that fight, because I was unlikely to stop them from taking the Gold Fury. Yes, it was possible that I could have stolen the Gold Fury, but it was very unlikely. Especially since they just seen me use my ult. Use Tyler's ult. You just go right into your ult. Alright. I'm not really sure what to do here. This is a weird situation for me. We're actually going to cut you people off then, so we can focus on him. That's what I'm talking about. That was good. I didn't know we had taken this. When did we take this? Was that minions? Ah, I almost cut him off. That's a shame. I'm just trying to do a bit of damage here. Right now, we're wasting time. We don't need to be here. I know you're going to be in danger if I don't. No. You knock it off. Back off. Did I save her? I did not. Ah, my death was in vain. The problem right there is we wasted too much time under their phoenixes. We weren't doing anything useful. We weren't even getting kills at that point. Once they get to the point where they can come in and out of the fountain pretty cleanly like that, there's no point in staying around. I did get enough gold to be able to upgrade my relics, and it does look very likely that the fire minions in right lane will... No, they're actually defending that. Now the question is... No, I was going to say, is Neith getting out? No, she's not. We wasted too much time there. We shouldn't... Once they got into the fountain, once I whiffed that... Well, once I prevented... What am I... I have to speak English. I have to organize my thoughts for a minute. I'm too excited. Hold on. Once Guan Yu got into the fountain, once I failed to prevent him entering the fountain, that was it. We needed to leave. We stayed around too long. They all just respawned nice and fresh. We were not nice and fresh. We wasted time. We threw away our lives. We gave them free resources. They just got the Gold Fury. We didn't need to give that up. That was a terrible decision. Maybe Hunbat's the Morrigan and I can take the Pyromancer really quick. Or maybe Hunbat's can kill Danzabuto really quick, apparently. Or not. Or they kill each other off. I mean, let's go for it. They're not here. They're not paying attention. I can tank this for years, honestly. We've got our Long Shen here, too. We should have waited till after the fireball went through, but I guess it really doesn't make a difference. Easy. And they had no idea. They didn't even check. They should have put down a ward over there, to be honest, but the fact that they didn't is entirely their fault. Are we... I'm not hugely fond of this fight, but... Alright. Not my best wall. We're going to go ahead and shell this really quick. Yep, that's actually a better call. We don't need this fight. We don't need this fight. We don't need this fight. We don't need it. We don't need it. What are we doing here? I'm going to have to stall them out. He needs to leave the fire giant. He needs to leave the fire giant. We can't take this right now. That was a terrible ice breath. Okay, good. Did the enemy Morgan? Yeah, she just became me. Alright. Yeah, I hit like a wet noodle. That was a waste of your time, honestly. We can take her. You just girl boss too close to the sun. Alright. That's not worth it. Just take the fire giant. We've driven them off. They don't have the capacity to fight us anymore. The Morgan's gonna die for absolutely no reason. The problem with my allies, they're pretty good overall. My only complaint is that they don't know when to let go of a fight. Now, Hunbat's is going to die for no reason. That was a good counter ult by the Mulan. I don't think I'm going to die for this. I think we can probably kill him, honestly. Nope. Good blink, good blink. I have shell up in 16 seconds. I'm not too concerned. He's fighting this, too, which is strange. Not today. No, we don't want him right now. Is this ult? Which he just wasted. I think he estimated my... Okay, I just died, that's fine. I think he was expecting my wall to go down a little bit earlier than it actually did. I left it the full way up because I wanted to cut him off from that fight. We stayed too long in that fight. We honestly should have retreated. I should have called retreat. I did the exact same mistake I just complained about. I stayed way too long in the fight. I don't matter so much. The fact that Erlong died is a bit more of a problem because he could have actually used the Fire Giant buff. I wasn't chasing there. We should, although he is right, we should stop chasing these fights. And, yep, it looks like maybe he gets out. Okay, that was a good beads. That was a good ult. That was a good ult. Disengage. That was a good disengage. That was good. No, they should be able to get out alive. That's fine. Yeah, they got out. That's fine. That's good. I should buy a sentry ward. Alright, it looks like they're going to go for right lane, which is fairly interesting. Probably because they want to push down that Phoenix. Their left Phoenix, I suppose, from their perspective, is not the healthiest, so it's their right now current weak point, so they're going to want to take the right lane. Erlong Shen is almost up, so that's pretty good. I use that a little bit early because I don't want to be thinking about trying to use that beforehand. What are you doing, guy? Alright. Looks like we're going to be able to chase down Fafnir and kill him. Yes. That's a dead Fafnir. No, you don't. No. We're going to leave that alone, actually. I want him to think we're still chasing. Alright, good. Can they kill Mulan? Is it worth killing Mulan? That's the better question. Yes, it is worth killing Mulan.
Attack. I'll defend.
I'll tank it. That's fine. Erlong Shen is soloing the Gold Fury for some unholy reason. Well, it's the Primal Fury, so I can see that. I'm not sure why Neith is over there, but alright. I guess the Morrigan is all I really need for this. What is this? Then we're just going to take this. I'm going to come from this direction. Hi. I only froze him for the specific reason... Oh, he just used that regular. I only froze him for the specific reason to ensure that the Phoenix would attack me, because the Phoenix will prioritize whoever first deals damage to an enemy, to its allied god. So by freezing the... Oh, they surrendered. By freezing the Fafnir in that situation, I also dealt damage to him, which was very important to ensure that the Phoenix would continue to shoot me even as my allies possibly were shooting at the Fafnir. That was why I did that. There was literally no other reason why I froze him. I just knew that was going to hit and Glacial Strike was not likely to. So that was... Actually, I'm really happy with that game. That was a really great example of Ymir support. And ultimately... It was actually an ideal scenario, in all honesty, because I was able to build auto attacks, an auto attack focus, which Ymir likes. Now, again, I didn't need to build damage here. I was building pure tank, and I did really well at this. Notice that I really made a comeback in the late game compared to Fafnir. In the early game, I had a really hard time. being useful in the early game. I had some nice freezes. I slowed down the enemy some, but the ice wall in the early game is rarely going to last long enough to actually make that much of a difference. Yes, like I said before, a second or two can make a huge difference in a fight, but it's still a little bit difficult. Whereas the Fafnir was doing really well in the early game because he's got a little bit better of an early game. Not by much. He is still more late game than he is early game, but his early game is a little bit better than Ymir's because he's got the stun with the slow attached to it. He's got a self heal. He's got the straight up damage buff that he can provide to his ally when he increases their attack speed. The increase in attack speed is pretty huge in the laning phase because it allows his hunter to clear waves a little bit faster than the enemy hunter. So that's pretty impressive. He's got the disarm on his jump, which again is very useful in the laning phase. So in the early game, Fafnir definitely has an advantage because all Ymir can do is slow wall for a second or two and stun, right? So yes, the Fafnir had a better early game, and you could see that very early on, but you'll notice not only in the late game did I eventually wind up with 16 more assists than he did, but I died 4 times less. Now, part of this does have to do with his build. I don't know why on earth he would build Voidstone except for his own intentions of trying to do more damage, because the only other person who was going to use this was the Morrigan. Morrigan had her own problems, don't get me wrong, but Voidstone didn't belong here. I mean, Gauntlet of Thebes, great first item. Sentinel's Embrace, fantastic. Sovereignty, considering our team composition, physical, and physical, that was a great pickup. Voidstone was his first mistake, build-wise. I just absolutely slapped my drawer. That was mildly painful. The Winged Blade was not... I don't think this was as helpful to him as he was anticipating. I had a slow. Neith has a slow on her backflip. Right? And literally no one else has a slow. That's it. Those were the only 2 slows. Erlongshan has a pop-up and a root, neither of which trigger Winged Blade. The Morrigan has a stun. Yes, she could have transformed into somebody that does have a slow, but we're going to assume that she wasn't. And indeed, throughout the match, I don't think she ever transformed into anybody other than Hunbots, because Hunbots was slapping. If Neith backflips away from Fafnir, it's really unlikely that chasing her with Winged Blade and your only offensive option being Voidstone is really going to get you a kill. So that was fairly inane anyways, and Hunbots, of course, just has his fear effect, which doesn't count because it's not a slow. Unless, well, it might still count as a slow, but even then you're under the fear effect, so it's just going to make you run in fear for a farther distance. That's about it. If it even counts as a slow plus fear, I'm not 100% sure. I don't think it does. The Mantle of Discord was fine. But these 2 items right here were a big mistake. He would have been better off building Genji's Guard, get 70 magic protections, not even bother with Winged Blade, and get something more useful. Maybe Stone of Gaia. Maybe he could have built... one of the other cloaks, Hide of the Urchin, Magi's Cloak, whatever. But those 2 items right here, Voidstone and Winged Blade, were really not that useful to him. Now, touching back on the Morrigan, possibly, and this is just a possible guess on my part, he might have built Voidstone because the Morrigan did not build percentage penetration, which was a huge mistake on her part. It is actually the reason why I ultimately did decide and settle on Stonefall. I mentioned this in passing that she really didn't have much penetration at that point, and yes, she could have built a little bit more later on, but she didn't. She built, what is that, 30 flat? That's not even, it's 20 flat. These both used to have 15 flat magic penetration, so that's what I was thinking of. She had 20 flat penetration, so whenever she was attacking me... Hold on. There we go. Whenever she was attacking me, I had the equivalent of 228 magic protections. With the Voidstone from Fafnir, that only went down to like 200-ish. I'm not even going to bother doing that math because it's negligible. It's so little because it's only a 10% reduction here, right? That is, compared to a 228, you're looking at 22.8. I can actually do that math really quick in my head. 22.8 less protections, so I would be down to, almost exactly 200. I would be slightly above it. I think it'd be like 202 odd, maybe 201 point whatever. I'm not 100% sure off the top of my head, but yeah, it was such a small amount that I really didn't need to focus too much on magic protections. Now, I don't regret building the 2 magic protection items I did, because I was able to massively enhance the auto attack speed of my allies, which was the point. But that's why at the end I went for Stone of Fall instead of Genji's Guard. I really didn't need the magic protections because they really didn't have enough magic penetrations to make that worthwhile. This is a huge mistake on the Morgan's part, because the Morgan represented the only major magic damage on the team. So that was a pretty big hiccup. With that being said, those are really the main points I want to touch on here. This really was, in terms of team compositions, an ideal scenario for Ymir. It's a little bit interesting building him what I would call the classic way, with Sentinel's Gift and non-auto attack focused items. But overall, this was a fantastic match to introduce you to Ymir with, because I had a great allied team. The enemy team built... Some of the enemy team built really silly. Also, I just want to point out Runeforged Hammer. Bit of an odd choice for Guan Yu, because he only has one serious form of crowd control, which would be the stun on his ult. So, yes, his allies could also induce the crowd control he needed for extra damage, but that's still a bit of a risk, because if he's fighting by himself, he's only going to have the stun at the end of his ult that's really going to trigger this. So that's a bit of a risk, especially since his ult is his best escape, too. So I do somewhat question Runeforged Hammer, but otherwise his build is fine. Danzaburru's build was okay. I know Ykaival has fallen a little bit out of favor, but considering our team composition, again, I want to refer back to the point that our team had really great auto-attacking potential, and Ykaival was actually a decent opening move. It's just that the Hun bots did gank Neith's lane quite a decent bit. As I mentioned, he did sacrifice the right lane, which turned out to be the correct choice. He basically surrendered the Erlong Shen for a stronger Neith, and that clearly worked out in our favor. But that's more because the Erlong Shen was a much better team player than Mulan was. They actually had a conversation about this in the lobby, and it's absolutely true. While the Erlong Shen did poorly in the laning phase, he transitioned beautifully into the team fight phase, and really did a great job of helping me defend the team. He didn't need to get kills to be useful to the team, right? He did what he needed to, which was really help me frontline. So I do a shout out to the Erlong Shen. Really great calls there. He really was there when I needed him to be. He really helped keep the enemy locked down while my Ice Breath was recharging, and it was just really great gameplay out of my boy Erlong Shen there. Defender 1999, absolutely fantastic, and he does make an excellent point here that it's as nice as it is to win your lane in the solo lane, it's not that important compared to the team fight in the late game, and he just had a bigger impact there, which is one of the reasons we won. So, with that being said, thank you all very much for joining me. If you liked this, please like and subscribe. If you didn't, please ignore me. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, ideas, suggestions, or requests, please leave them down in the comment section below. And, yeah, have a great 24 hours.